right. Thank you so much, David. Good morning, everyone. We hope you are having a great week and wishing a great upcoming couple days to those who are traveling to either Buffalo or traveling to Arlington for our conferences this week that are coming up. Again, as people are already doing, thank you so much for putting your name and affiliation in the chat. I believe today we're going to be having a presentation from the National Institute for Innovation and Technology. I'm not sure if he's on yet, but in the meantime, I will pass it to Matt Bogosian, our Executive Director, for some updates. Matt, the floor is yours.
Great. Thanks, Michelle. And hello, everyone. I'm Matt Bogosian, Executive Director of AMCC. And as most of you know, AMCC is a national nonprofit organization, open source, free for stakeholders around the country and regions around the country working together to strengthen the American project. We have lots of regional leaders from all kinds of public and private perches, to include our BFFs from federal agencies, nonprofits, and private sector partners, all trying to row in the same direction to strengthening American manufacturing in regions and across the country. This is our Monday call. Sometimes we have a round robin call for 30 minutes. Other days we have a presentation, like Michelle said today. Michelle, of course, Michelle Burris is from one of our founding partners, the Century Foundation, who has been lockstep with us for a long time, as has been the Northeast Midwest Institute and many others, and all of you working together. It's really inspiring. Before I turn it over to our presenters today, I want to highlight a few things from the weekly AMCC update that goes out. And that's a good shortcut for folks to stay connected. You all are very busy doing the good hard work in your regions and elsewhere, but this is a conduit for us to get your messages out, to share with you what we're learning about over the course of the week, from week to week. And of course, this is a pretty big week in the making for several years. This is the Manufacturing Momentum Summit that's happening in the DC area. Lots of our stakeholders will be there, but if you're not going to be there, we're going to be reporting back out about all of the good things that happened during this week in the Manufacturing Momentum Summit. Thanks, of course, to our partners, DoD, Mantech, and CREC, and so many others to make this happen. It's a good first step along a lot of steps that we need to make going forward. So very excited to see people in person. Of course, this idea of having this manufacturing summit started right as COVID was breaking, and that was the time we were together concocting this strategy. So in this summit, so it's neat to see it come to fruition. Other announcements from the AMCC update is our new podcast, Manufacturing an American Century, is out now. Our interview with U.S. Deputy Secretary of Commerce, Don Graves. So check that out. David can put that in the chat. The link to that, it's on all your podcast platforms. So there's that. We put in the AMCC update a whole host of new DOE and USDA opportunities. One in particular I want to bring your attention to is this $15 billion package of funding and loans. Check that out, David, if you drop that in the chat. A lot of important opportunities your regional stakeholders ought to be privy to. And kind of, to communicate the big message about where we are on this, journey. Our BFFs at Brookings and Deloitte have two reports that we put in the AMCC update. David can drop them into the chat also here. But really getting at the point of, bottom up, we're going to need to make this American renaissance, with all of you leading the way, right? We can't top down, it's got to be bottom up. So lots more in there. We're doing our AMCC roadshows, lots to report there and to come on that. But I don't want to take any more time because we have a presentation this morning from our friends at the National Institute of Innovation and Technology, Mike Russo and Robert Weinman. if some of you, I think, may know Mike, he was a part of the Manufacturing Innovation Institute's effort, and what's now Manufacturing USA, and they have a free, fully funded talent hub here that is super important. I think that all of us need to kind of understand and see how we can help scale. So let me turn it over to you guys, and thanks for being on the AMCC Monday call.
Yeah, Mike, and I'll go ahead and slide the deck for you, or show the slide deck.
All right. Thanks a lot, Matt. So, yeah, that's a nice segue talking about the NMI Institutes. So we were on a call, and good morning, everyone. We were on a call last week with Matt and David, and we were talking about some of the history of this initiative. And Matt says, you know what, share that, because there's a lot of people that were involved, back in the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Talent Hub, but we're also going to talk about our main body of work. It's our work to really develop the nation's talent pipeline to support strategic industry sectors. So we call it the National Talent Pipeline Development Initiative. So you can go to the first slide, Robert. Thank you. So yeah, I actually led the private sector advisory group during the Obama administration under PCAST for the NMI Institutes. And a lot of that work, to establish the institute's technology focus areas, governance, operation, all that. But there was one component, was the workforce aspect of it. And actually, at the time, I was working with Global Foundries, responsible for developing their soft and hard infrastructure for a new semiconductor foundry in the US. And it occurred to me that we did not really have a solid national strategy. So through some discussions that we had with the administration, actually, I had worked in Congress and Senate, knew Rahm Emanuel. He said, the president is really concerned about the fact that we don't have a real solid national strategy and infrastructure. So that actually led to this work. And what does that mean? So what we've done since then, been working on it since 2010, quite frankly, is we've actually developed the solid infrastructure needed to really attract and engage and broaden the pipeline so more people have access to actually develop, put more people in the pipeline. And really the tools to connect the three stakeholder groups, which are not only the job seekers or individuals, but the education system, so they know what industry needs in real time, as well as employers. And then really focusing on not just, we're known as the nation's leader in semiconductor talent pipeline strategies, right? And we do have the national contract through DOL to expand registered apprenticeships throughout the semiconductor and nanotech related industries. But more importantly, this effort is really intended to develop that pipeline for all strategic industry sectors, those that are important in national security and global competitiveness. So think of advanced manufacturing, tech-based industries, et cetera. And a foundational component of that, which Robert's going to get into how it works in the Talent Hub, is the fact that we have to have two things in order to broaden the pipeline. One, we have to have skills-based learning throughout the K through 12 and post-secondary education system. Very, very important. It doesn't mean exclusively, but there has to be a solid component of skills-based learning. And then the other thing that's very, very important is that skills that are developed have to be transferable. The foundational skills needed to support all those industry sectors, because, for example, in semiconductors, there's not that many jobs and it's very cyclical. So individuals that don't have degrees have to invest their time in developing valuable skills that can be used to support these strategic industry sectors. And Robert will get into really quickly how the Talent Hub does that. And really making sure that whatever you develop can be used more broadly by any region, any state, to help align with their economic development strategies. So we look at our fundamental components of this strategy and really three things. One, that infrastructure, the Talent Hub, and how we connect and leverage regional assets. And then programs, making sure that curriculum is aligned in real time with individual employers. And then making sure that we expand innovative learn and earn programs so individuals could actually go to work in these higher paid, higher value jobs while they're learning. And then really scaling through what we call career opportunity hubs. So We're expanding throughout the country where we're ensuring that the K through 12 post-secondary education system does have the skills-based components. We're rolling out the Talent Hub, rolling out innovative registered apprenticeships, and kind of making it happen region by region. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Robert, to kind of jump right in on that. Well, I think we're going to start out with the Talent Hub component of the strategy.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mike. So the Talent Hub has been a cloud-based solution that we've released. It's been available for over a year in a B2B model, and we're now switching over to a B2C model with that, so that talent can start getting into the Talent Hub and really looking for job opportunities and getting placed. But it is not just a job board. So the system is actually leveraging multiple DOL assets. And it's designed to provide greater skills transparency. Again, it's offered at not free, but at no cost. And it's at no cost because it's fully funded right now under the NSF ATE. And it offers real-time connectivity for the three stakeholders of employers, training providers, and talent. It also allows that transparency for regional partnerships as well, similar to the work that everyone on this call has been doing. It's fully automated to ensure that alignment. And just, I think the other piece to it is it has a unique capability to look at prioritization for those high demand skills. So often we see with different skills alignment efforts that we talk about the skills needed, but there's not really a lot of signaling on what are the skills that are higher prioritized and how do we rise those to the top so that we can have more targeted training and get people into the workforce faster. So you can see there's a Talent Hub providing that intersection. And I can just go to the next slide and tell you a little bit more about that. This has been some great work. I see Pam is on the call, but we've leveraged a lot of DOL assets that have great structure, great architecture, and we feel like a continuation of them is definitely a strategic move for any kind of industry-wide effort. So we leveraged DOL assets in ONET and also their competency model clearinghouse. And what we did is we took those models, which typically have like a refresh cycle of about 4 years, and that it's a convening of subject matter experts. And we dropped them into an automated system so they actually have real-time signaling that's coming from training providers, talent, and employers. Every job posting that goes in or job description, it doesn't even have to be a live posting, will signal what competencies it has. Same thing for any course or training program, whether that be community college or third party. And same thing with any talent that creates a profile in the system based on their work and education related experience. So if you can see on the right here that we've moved that competency model, we ingested several of the major competency models that the DOL has. We merged those under a competency model standards database, and that's what runs the National Talent Hub. And what's most important is, I'll talk about additional attributes, but if you can see in this screen, for instance, like physical dimension measurement, we're tracking how many job postings out there are actually asking for that. So we can see in the system right now, there's currently active 272 job postings. We can actually drill down and see what employers are doing that. So this is that view usage capability. And we can do that with every competency line item that's in the system, track that usage, so that high demand competencies rise to the top and are actually suggested as someone's building a profile. Low demand competencies become dormant. They're retained as an archive, but they remain dormant. They're kind of archived in the system so that we can look at new emerging competencies. And this is an example of a skill profile related to a job. We have additional attributes in the system, which is really important. That functionality was in the competency model clearinghouse, but it was sort of underutilized. In a real-time system, it really adds dimension to how we look at skills alignment. So you can see here that same competency line item where also the employer is indicating a proficiency level. We have 5 proficiency levels. They can indicate frequency, and they can also indicate the degree of impact for that job so that a training provider or talent can see which competencies are prioritized. This National Talent Hub was very important to us because we really wanted to get to the meat of things, which is getting people jobs. Hooray. So we partnered up again with the DOL, and we're under an exclusive contract with the DOL ETA Office of Apprenticeship to basically design, launch, and scale apprenticeships, registered apprenticeships in semiconductor nanotechnology. and that is games, growing apprenticeships in nanotechnology and semiconductor. And really what we've done is we've shifted the focus for employers. So when we talk to employers, what are your critical need positions? These are positions they pay a high investment for getting talent into those positions. And it's typically a very limited population that can actually apply for those positions. What we've done is shifted the focus on gateway positions that they've really tried to fill in a contract or temporary worker functionality, and redesigning those gateway positions that have a lower skill threshold and a lower cost of acquisition, so that a person could be proficient in those positions within 3 to 6 months, and then within an apprenticeship, the additional time that they're in that position, they will be skilled up to be a candidate for those higher critical need positions. So that lowers the skill threshold. It prioritizes the training using the National Talent Hub and the job profiles, and it focuses those trainings so that that individual becomes an internal candidate for ladder up positions within the organization. A little bit more about gains is it's really focused on, all our work is designed to be simultaneous with getting people into jobs quickly, but also creating a stronger partnership with community colleges so that those individuals somewhat accidentally, but within that apprenticeship, are earning college credits towards a terminal certificate or degree, because we see that value with the community college ecosystem, that we want to continue reinforcing that those degrees and certificates are important, because they are higher alignment. But we want to do that while that individual is working, because the need for that talent is so great right now. We need them to be working. It's competency-based programs, so we're looking at performance instead of hours. Strong foundational skills are prioritized so that you have universal skills that goes across all sectors of advanced manufacturing, whether it be nanotechnology. There's no need to build clean rooms across the nation. We can train based on proficiency signal that we get from employers. We can train those clean room skills without the use of a clean room, just using simulated clean rooms. And a lot of the other skills are transparent and transferable across many different advanced manufacturing sectors. Leveraging the Talent Hub, and again, it's no cost, it's fully funded. And this really shows the talent pipeline initiative that Mike referred to. And I'm going a little bit quickly. I apologize for that, because we want to give you time for question and answers. But this is really those career opportunity hubs. You can see that this map also closely aligns with a lot of the work that you folks have already been doing. But we are bringing in those lenses for elementary and middle school programs, high school programs, community colleges, strong focus on adult and veteran training, including their families, and also getting people into the work and then simultaneously skilling them up for those ladder up positions. So learn and earn models. Building a national talent pipeline, again, engaging stakeholders, including everyone on this call. We can do a good assessment of regions based on alignment with training providers and the jobs that employers are offering. It's a comprehensive structure. And we also look at targeted training, but we're not really specific employer focused. We're more industries focused. So we're looking at competencies that could lift up an entire ecosystem within a region and make it sustainable so that you can support workforce fluidity as individuals may ladder up within an organization, or they might pivot to another organization, or they might pivot into other positions within that organization. The whole concept is that talent pool, number one, should be very diverse, very wide pipeline, but also every step they make should be an advancement, not just for the individual, but to the advantage of the employer and the ecosystem that they reside in. And this is points of contact information. So Martha, who's Director of National Apprenticeship, me, I'm Director of the National Talent Hub and Workforce Innovation. And then Pam Howes is our Director and has a very long history of working in workforce strategies and talent pipeline initiatives. And that's it.
Hey, Robert, this is great. Thanks for that. It begs the question in my mind about you guys are farthest along in the state of New York, isn't that right? In terms of utilizing this, can you give the example about how you've operationalized this in New York State so that other regions around the country could, learn from that and consider how they might, take next steps in using all of these resources?
Mike, I'll jump on that, and then I'm just going to pass it to you. But I just say the first thing that we really did there is we got the alignment with multiple community colleges there and target occupations with some of the larger employers. That that evolved into us actually launching the first apprenticeship ever in nanotechnology semiconductor with a large fab there called Global Foundries. And that has allowed us to kind of build out a larger ecosystem with multiple apprenticeships in that region now and more community colleges coming on board. And then, Mike, if you want to talk more about the work we're doing with SUNY Poly and such, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, we did launch the first official career opportunity hub in New York State, which we did it in the capital region of New York, 24 school districts, 84,000 kids. The entire CTE program has been aligned with industry requirements in that region. All CTE students, 1,200 this year, have to be in, and we'll have profiles in the system, so they're automatically connected to employers, et cetera. But Matt, that will be expanded beyond the capital region to Rochester, Utica, Buffalo, Syracuse, Binghamton, et cetera. But that said, while that was the first official launch, we're in 17. We have 17 states with various components of our programs. We have almost 2,000 apprenticeships in our nanotechnology and semiconductor program right now. We have about 59 registered apprenticeship programs throughout the country in various stages of development. We have 43 community colleges for the most part, but some other training providers as part of our national network of related technical instruction providers. So we are truly all over the country. But in New York, our focus on our official launch was really to get the entire K through 12 system into the system. And then the dynamic component of the Talent Hub is where the employers in a region, once they have their profile for their target positions in the hub, they only make incremental changes. That signal goes right to individuals, and then it goes to the training providers, the community colleges, so they instantly know the degree of alignment. So we're really trying to do that in its entirety in that region, and then we're expanding throughout the country. The other thing I will say is that we're part of the Veterans Employment Training Service program at DOL, and we're now expanding so our returning service members and their families also will have profiles in the Talent Hub.
That's great, Mike. Kind of a follow-up question is about subject matter, right? So, semiconductors is one key, area for the manufacturing ecosystem. What about, these tools apply to other manufacturing industries?
Yeah, so I mentioned early on that the foundation of the house was really those transferable skills. Think of an advanced manufacturer. So we worked with Pam Frugally and her team to redesign the advanced manufacturing competency model DOL. It's more of a static model, and we now keep that updated. We also launched the nation's first semiconductor competency model that's also listed there. But that said, those foundational skills apply across all advanced manufacturing. So the system is designed to support any of those strategic industry sectors. So we're already applying it to biomanufacturing. We're applying it to clean energy and clean energy employers. So we're expanding it out. But if any region, suppose a region has advanced manufacturing, but they don't have one of the ones that we're mentioning right now, the system is designed to support every region in any type of advanced manufacturing and tech. So what we do is we give them the tools and show them how to work with their employers to plug them into the Talent Hub and then leverage it. I will say that we are also working with Pam to really leverage that Talent Hub to bring that same sense of a dynamic system to the competency model clearinghouse. That's what we hope to do, and really fully leverage the ONET data, which is now in our system as well.
So you guys are like a conduit, of these federal investments for regions. We've been doing these AMCC roadshow visits around the country, and we just did a whole series of them in California. And one of them was with Accenture, who I think is on the call, and they just done a survey of CEOs, and something like 95% of them are looking at reshoring here in the United States. And you're talking about your tool being helpful for a whole industry in a region. How, if at all, are our private sector partners learning about your tools, Mike? And how can we, kind of bridge the gap more quickly between these federal investments that you're operationalizing and the private sector, folks that are in key industries but have been out of the habit of working in regions?
Right. Well, you're getting the word out on multiple fronts, multiple ways. So, for example, people that are focused on chips, we're on page 74 of the workforce program, the supplement for chips. We've been told to, and we are encouraging, as well as the CHIPS office is encouraging people to use existing assets instead of redeveloping, just deploy what's been developed. So if anybody's submitting a proposal for CHIPS, right, we work with them to make sure what we've developed, which the Department of Commerce is well aware, we work very closely with them, is in their portfolio. That's one way. More broadly, sometimes we get requests coming in for people that really are concerned about more effective and efficient training, and they're interested maybe in an innovative apprenticeship program. So what we do is we then work with them within that context to explain the talent hub, explain talent pipeline development in regions, et cetera. Sometimes it comes in from state entities, or the requests will come in from economic developers that are working on an economic development strategy. Then we work with them. There are times where community colleges say, how can we better connect with industry? We work with them. And then we also do PR all over the country, announcements, et cetera. You mentioned California. So we've been working, initially the introduction came through an industry association out there, but we've brought on now 6 employers into our Gains program in that region in California. They're all in Gains. They are all, their target positions are going in the Talent Hub. We've worked to develop the curriculum with the community colleges, et cetera. So there's multiple ways, Matt, is the answer to your question. Uh-oh. I think we lost Matt.
I don't think we lost him. Maybe he has a dog barking in the background.
Any other questions that we can answer? And by the way, this is what we do. This is what we're passionate about. So we're more than happy to schedule time for example, a deep dive, that National Talent Hub. It's the only system like it on the planet. There's a lot of folks working on similar systems, matching tools, et cetera. This is the only dynamic tool out there.
Mike, let me ask you a quick question. Do you have experience in applying this model to a more traditional and older industry? I'm in the maritime industry.
Yeah, we have actually. We started working with the MEP Center down in Philadelphia for more traditional manufacturing. It will work. There's no doubt you can apply it to more traditional manufacturing. The folks in the MEP Center I think their view was that they were okay meeting their needs in that region with the more traditional approaches. But the tool is designed to work for any type of manufacturing, any type of tech. I mean, the more advanced it is, the more value there is, because the competency requirements become more detailed, right? The more general it is, the way that would work, I think the real value of that would be to develop that entire regional pipeline so they go right into those manufacturers through the Talent Hub. That's the real value there.
Yeah, and I think so. One of the nice things about the DOL assets is that there is a core of this that's the foundational competencies that's universal across all 26 or 27 of their competency models. That can be transportation and warehousing, construction, healthcare. Those are all pretty universal across. Then the technical competencies, we would do an evaluation like we've done in the past, where if you remove some of the context, is it universally already available at that higher level of tier? So, yeah, I mean, based on the experience that DOL has had, I think that the system's very adaptable for a very broad sector of industries, for sure.
Mike, Robert, thank you guys so much for coming on. And if you drop your emails in the chat, I know you already provided them on the slides, and everyone can get the slides. This is going to be recorded, be up on the AMCC website, and I hope this really kind of kicks us off to a lot of additional interactions between NIIT and AMCC going forward. We stand ready, to work with you however we can to operationalize these important investments. So let me turn it back to you, Michelle.
Sounds good. And thank you so much, Mike and Robert, for that great presentation. Really enjoyed learning more about how you're feeling the talent pipeline and also your work in New York and the apprenticeship model. everyone, we are wishing you a great week. And again, if you're going to be in Virginia, look forward to seeing you in person, or safe and fun travels to Buffalo as well for the MEP conference. And we look forward to seeing you back here on next Monday, the 18th, at the same time. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great week.
Thanks, everyone.